What's up, guys? It's Alex.
It's Quinn.
It's Iconic Comic. We are back, and we are ready to spoil Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is our spoiler review, and we're just going to kind of go at random like we always do. So let's just jump in. Let's just jump into it.
It's so Infinity War, when we did the spoiler review, was like, that's a movie you have to, like, top to bottom, like, spoil.
Yeah.
This one, we're probably going to be jumping around a lot. I almost want to start with...
At the end?
No, because you got to build up to that part. So, where has Ant-Man been since Infinity War? He's been on house arrest for 2 years. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. That's a long time to be
Can't leave
under house arrest.
for 2 years.
So he's been on house arrest for 2 years because of the events of Civil War. And so now we're all caught up. Okay, why wasn't Ant-Man in Infinity War? That's why. But what we didn't think about when we were watching Civil War was how that affected his relationship with Hank Pym and Hope. Because
yeah, that's what I was about to say in the non-spoiler.
Yeah.
Because I interrupted.
No, it's okay. They did not give him the green light to take the suit and follow Captain America into the jaws of terror in Germany. And when he got back, well, I'm sure he got arrested there, but it was like, well, where's my suit? And you went and stole my property and fought crime in it. No. So their relationship's kind of like really jumbled right now, especially with Hank. And, he's just been under house arrest. But his relationship with his family, however, seems to be pretty okay, which both I'm happy about because it ended that way.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, do they not care that? Because they obviously know that he went to Germany and did that stuff too. Like, why are you under house arrest? That's why. So they know that he's Ant-Man. He did this stuff. And now maybe they're on Captain America's side. His family is on the why he went. Like, I mean, if Captain America came to you, he's like, I need your help. Where are we going?
Yeah.
Cap.
I have homework.
I have homework. And that was funny too when he was like, Cap needed me. Cap. Captain America. But we call him Cap. Who's we? People that you're close with. Like, I'm close with Captain America. And I'm like, that's exactly how I'd be.
Yeah. So it all really started because Scott he's so close to his sentence being done. He's in the bathtub and he gets almost like a vision of Hank Pym's wife.
Mm-hmm. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah. So he calls Hank Pym and didn't answer, so he left a message. Well, wound up getting kidnapped by Hope. Just because there was hope.
Can we talk about how much better she looks with long hair? Way better with long hair, I think.
Oh, I don't care.
Maybe you disagree.
I don't care. No, I don't care either way. I'm saying I don't care either way.
Whatever. I think she looks great with long hair now.
Okay, so she gets Scott and is going to take him to Hank Pym, and you know how we said we're going to jump in random? We started from the beginning and we're just working through it.
Well, there's parts we're going to probably jump in the middle where it's like not so important, more important.
Long story short, Hank Pym and Hope, they want to use what's in Scott's head to find her mom, his wife.
Are you handing this off to me?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hand that off to you.
Well, and really, that's when we get this introduction to our villain, which is Ghost. Because they need this part, and they're looking to find this part, but she also needs the part too. So they go to this guy who's just this dickhead, like, I don't know, black market dealer of things. He already knows who Hope is, even though she's been lying to him, and is like, look, I want you to cut me in on this deal. Whatever you're working on, I want to be a part of it. Let's make some cash. And she's like, that's not why we're doing it. We're doing this for bigger reasons than money or whatever. And he's not happy about that. And then Ghost shows up and really messes the whole party up. And so we got this fight between, Wasp, and it's a really cool fight scene where we get to see Wasp do her thing. And she is so badass. I cannot wait for her to be a part of the Avengers. I've been waiting for her to be a part of the Avengers for so long because she was in the original Avengers in the comics. I guess Ant-Man / Giant Man and Wasp were in that original team. So I've been waiting to see her in there. we get this little cool fight scene, and then Ghost gets away with basically all their shit. Like, she gone. And they need to find a way
takes
to
the lab,
find their stuff.
Takes the component, takes everything and runs.
And that's when Bill Foster comes in, a.k.a. Goliath. And, you know, it's so cool to see him on screen finally. I mean, even though it's not the Goliath that we know from the comics, you know, he doesn't get big in the movie or anything. But he does talk about his old adventures with Hank, like, you know, I got 21 feet or whatever. And he's talking to Scott. It's like, no, I want to know. 65 feet. 65 feet? Like, what? It's hilarious. So don't worry, Goliath doesn't get giant in this movie. But we get this introduction to Goliath, and he kind of gives him this little secret to help him find Ghost, which ended up being part of his plan anyway.
Yeah, which, if I think about it now, it's kind of predictable. Like, if I go back,
I didn't predict it though.
I know, not in the movie, but now that I think, oh, you know, that makes sense, because Hank Pym had him fired, had him discredited as a scientist, or, you know, ruined his name.
Or was that the other guy?
No, that was Lawrence Fishburne.
Because, okay, well, I didn't talk about this in the non-spoiler, because almost you couldn't talk about it. But when she's going over her backstory...
Ghost
sorry. And basically monologuing a little bit. Telling him, like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I thought that they didn't relay the information, or at least speak it well, about who was who in this story. Because she was talking about Bill, who was right next to her, who was like, reveal, bad guy. It's like talking about Bill, like, you know, he had him discredited and all this other stuff. And then he goes, my father. And then I go, oh, it must be Bill Foster. Because she, like, goes right into, my father was this, and, you know, he got kicked out of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all this other stuff. So I'm like, oh, he's talking about Bill Foster.
Okay, that makes sense. And, you know, like, with the way, like, they looked like they could be family members.
And then it shows flashback, and it's like, and it says, my father again. I mean, let's call it what it is. It was a white guy, and we're sitting here going, like, that doesn't look like Lawrence Fishburne at all. Like, this?
We got really confused.
And then, like, but then it says, and then my parents died. And I was like, oh, okay.
Lawrence Fishburne came in, added his 2 cents, and then me and him both look at...
Okay.
All right, we're all good.
It was the way they worded this whole story in the middle, where, because she kind of just shifts from, like, talking about Bill Foster, it's like, and then my father. And I thought, oh, that's your father. Well, that would make sense why he's helping you to fight Hank Pym then.
Maybe that's the problem that I have with the movie.
It was just that little part where it was like poorly executed exposition.
Yeah. It was an info dump, like, here's my evil plot.
But once that was over with, it was like...
It was fine after that.
We're going.
Yeah.
Because, you know, obviously they get out of there, they escape, and they're really close to figuring this out and getting Mom back. And probably one of the most hilarious scenes in the entire Marvel Universe is when Janet Van Dyne takes over Scott's body.
That was hilarious.
And talk about great acting by Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like get all the nuances and everything. And she's like, the way she looks at Hank and then looks at Hope, or he looks at them, whatever. Hilarious. I was really hoping they'd kiss though, like Hank
Scott
and
Hank. well, they all held hands, and then when Scott finally came to, he was still holding the hand of Hank Pym. He's like, what's going on here? No idea what's going on, but that was really funny. And then
Scott shits the bed.
Oh, we can go there? Okay.
Yeah, Scott straight up shits the bed. Like, he tells Luis where he is just so he can, like, go over a business plan. Really dumb move. And then Luis gets stopped by these straight up dickheads. The same guys earlier who were the black market guys. They were just on him this whole time. Like, is this one thing that worth it? Like, really?
They were kind of annoying.
I was like, oh my, which I guess is good, you know, as a villain. Like, you should be annoying. Like,
they were
They were the one I hated. I hated them more than I hated Ghost.
You know what I really like, though? Is that the movie recognized what was going on. Like, when...
Every time it felt like it was happy and everything was going to be okay.
Well, no. What I mean is when, like, for example, when Hope was driving and they were about to get away, and she goes, "Oh my God, these guys again."
Yeah, like
which
they're
is the
still
same thing.
here.
The same thing that I thought.
No, I think I said it right before she
okay.
said it. I was like, "Oh my God, these assholes!" And it's just like these guys again. And like every time you thought it was just about to be a-okay, either them or Ghost would show up, and they were more annoying than Ghost. I liked when Ghost showed up because she's cool. Her power, the effects with her powers were dope. The way like you saw what she was about to do and then what she just did, like at the same time, and it was this weird phasing thing. And what I said in the non-spoiler, I think she's a better villain than Darren Cross from the first Ant-Man, and I think she falls in line with this kind of Phase 3 villains where it's like we kind of feel for them in a way where it's like, I don't hate you, and I understand exactly why you're doing this. You didn't ask for this. You didn't ask to have these powers, and you don't want them anymore. It hurts every time you wake up and walk and go to sleep, whatever. It's painful, and you blame Hank Pym for it. You blame these people, and it's like, I just want to be cured. So I understood her motivation, and that's why I think she is I would say, solid villain.
Yeah, and what we've talked about for, I think since we started the channel, what makes a good villain is where you can kind of side with them on some things. Like, you understand... Something just pop up in your head?
No, just, villains that I can kind of understand sometimes.
Snap with?
Thanos.
You derailed my train of thought.
I was saying, I was walking around town the other day, and there's a lot of people, and I'm like, you know what? Thanos has a point. There's too many people around here. This is ridiculous. Let's just clean this mess up.
Anyway, what makes a good villain is, you can sympathize with them, and it's like what you were saying. They didn't ask for this. They don't want this. And I agree she was a great villain, and I go back to my point. She was the right size villain for this type of movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a villain that you'd have like the Avengers show up and fight.
No.
And I think Marvel's gotten really good at that, where it's like, okay, Thor: The Dark World, it's like somebody should have showed up when there were portals above London and a freaking giant spaceship.
For the Winter Soldier,
and alien.
where they have a...
Winter Soldier's a little different because the only people who knew that the helicarriers were bad were Cap and Nick Fury and those guys. They were the only people who knew they were bad.
Oh, fine.
And
fine.
Yeah. Iron Man 3. I feel like a giant terrorist who's blowing up Tony Stark's house and blowing up buildings. I feel like Captain America should at least been involved in that, or
at
Shield,
least phone call away.
Like, you all right, Tony? Like, they said you were dead, but they've gotten better at that. Where it's like these villains that pop up. So, like, what was it? Zemo. Well, that was pretty much an Avengers movie anyway. Like, everybody was there. Doctor Strange. All that pretty much took place in these different magical realms. So
it makes sense why no one was there.
Guardians, it's way out there. Spider-Man, low key, and Iron Man was there.
Low key.
It was low key. Vulture, and then Iron Man also showed up at times. We didn't need the Avengers there, and then that was after Civil War anyway. So they were basically Civil War did a great thing where it's like this really explains why they're not showing up because they're kind of broken up at this point. Like a band, like the Beatles. So basically, you get the big climax of the movie. They're trying to save Mom. They did a good job of having 3 different kind of goals and battles, and really shift and not lose what was going on. Because you had Hank in the quantum realm trying to save Janet Van Dyne. You had the other crew trying to keep Ghost away from the lab so that they could pull that mission off. And then at the same time, fighting off dickheads who were just in the way pretty much. So you have this kind of multi-battle thing going on. But there was this scene where, Hank Pym gets all the way where he needs to be, and then his mind starts to really get messy because, he's in the quantum realm, and it's just going bonkers. And he has this little scene. He sees Hope, he sees Scott, and they're like, "You just couldn't do it, could you?" Like, and it's kind of messing with him. And then you see this person in a dope outfit, like
pretty cool.
hood, mask, and then it's Wasp, the original Wasp, and she has one of her wings from her costume. She's using it as like a sword behind her, dope. And she like puts her her forefingers here on his forehead and brings him back. And that's when you know it's like, oh, there's something different with her. She's got some powers. And I'm glad, because we were so worried that either Mom wouldn't make it back after all this, or she would make it back and then Hank wouldn't.
Hank would be dead.
We were so worried because there was this when they obviously they make it back, and then like there's this literally like 3 minutes of like just Mom who came out of the ship thing talking to Janet, and we're sitting here going, "Where's Hank?
Where's Hank?
Where's he at?
What'd you do with Dad? What'd you do?"
And then all of a sudden you just hear him. We let out a big like, whew, like I couldn't deal with that. Like after Infinity War, like I needed something happy to happen.
Yeah.
So you know, everything's happy. They beat off dickheads, or that. They get rid of.
So everything's happy, and they fight the bad guys, and they beat the bad guys in fisticuffs.
And you know they stopped Ghost from. Her plan was to extract
the radiation,
the quantum energy from Janet
to like get rid of her.
But it would have
powers.
killed her, and it already saw like killing her. I was so worried. I was like, no. So they stopped her from doing that, and then Janet just kind of went like, I can help you, and you know, maybe a little convenient to the plot, but whatever.
Yeah, it was convenient that
whatever,
she knew what to do.
At this point, it's a superhero movie. Like,
yeah, but still, with Ghost, I feel like I don't think she was as
now they can use her
developed as she should have been.
Infinity War.
Because she was very receptive to Janet. Well, I guess she felt the energy and knew what it was. So I guess that explains why.
Yeah, I'm curious because I don't know, because I've never read anything where this has happened. But like, is there a comic where Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp, gets actual powers, like those kind of powers, or are they taking powers from another character from the Marvel comics and kind of giving them to Janet Van Dyne, and now she's her own kind of superhero?
I don't know.
Well, really, in the end, it doesn't matter, because post-credit scene numero uno, they're actually helping Ghost.
Yeah.
So they're sending Scott. They're working out of a van, which I don't understand why they couldn't get the lab back, but I don't know.
Confiscated?
Maybe, but like how? Like how did they get away? But then, like, anyway,
I don't know.
Not really that important. So they're working out of Luis's van, and they got the quantum field generator thing in the back.
Quantum tunnel.
And they're gonna send Scott in, and just all he's got to do is open up this thing, collect some quantum energy that could heal Ghost some more. I guess it's not permanent, whatever Janet did, so it's got to be this process or whatever. So it's, I don't, again, it's a great after credit scene, but it's like, did they all need to be there? Like, but I guess it would have happened either way. It didn't matter if they were there or not, so it just helps. So you have Janet, Hank, and Hope getting ready to send him in. They send him in. They 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. He's in there, and he's just collecting it. And then, all right, I'm ready. And then they do a great like pause after I'm ready, and then you're like, where are they? All right, we're ready. Like 5, 4, and it's just nothing. Ashes, and it cuts back, and it's just they're all faded away, and now we're left with this question: like, how does he get out?
He's in. I guess he'll.
Because he's in like, look, I don't.
He's in Infinity War.
Like, okay, not Infinity War, but Part 2, Avengers 4, whatever you want to call it. All these people are like, it's 2 separate movies. It's connected. it's Thanos and getting people back, whatever. We've seen the set photos of Iron Man, Captain America, and Ant-Man. So he gets back somehow, but what characters that are still available to us after Infinity War could help in that process? Hawkeye?
Quantum realm.
Not Hawkeye.
You don't know that. I don't know.
Captain America? Probably not. Tony Stark right now is the only one I can think of, but he doesn't even know, really, he knows who he is just because he was in the battle in Civil War, but he wouldn't go, where's that Ant-Man guy? Who are you again? Like,
could he use some of the quantum energy to just kind of shoot him back out?
I don't know. I'm hoping what's
know.
probably going to happen is he might just have one of those. He might do exactly how he did in Ant-Man. And he has one of those little discs with him, just conveniently. And just, let's go. You know what I mean? That's possible.
Or maybe there were fail-safes that Hank Pym put in the suit.
That's also, that would make sense. But, like, I don't know. Like, how is this going to happen? And then you get the second post-credit scene, which is a joke. It's very funny. But the first 3/4 of it are eerie as shit. Like,
it's like that national like the weather warning system that pops up on your cable TV. And it's just so what's going on? But we know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, half of the world's dead. We know what happened.
What's crazy, though, is, like, the way they present it, it's almost like everybody. You know what I mean? Because, like, once that post-credit scene happened, like, you don't see anybody.
It did look like everybody.
And then, like, I mean, obviously it's not everybody because, you know, there's the Avengers. Some of the Avengers are still alive.
Right.
Like, maybe it's Rocket. That's the key to all this.
I
Like,
need
left?
his arm.
Who's left? Hold on. Who's left? We got, it's the original core Avengers. So you got Iron Man. We don't know about Hawkeye. We really don't.
So
But I bet his family's toast.
We have the core event. I think the baby's toast.
Stop it. Tony's baby's toast.
So,
Pepper's gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no,
man.
I think just the baby's gone.
Ooh, that's a political argument there.
Yeah, I don't think that. No, you know what? Now that you say that they're not going to do that. Smart move. So the core Avengers that were in Infinity War are still there. Scott Lang is there.
He's in the realm, but he's there.
Rocket. He's alive. And then Rocket.
War Machine.
Nebula. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. Not a whole lot.
Shuri. I think this is kind of looking a little too far ahead for this video, but I think when we get to Avengers 4, I think there's going to be a time jump. I don't think it's going to be like, boom, we're picking up right where we left off. I don't think that. I think we're going to pick up a year, maybe 2 years. And Tony's been trying to figure out how to solve this. Like this whole, like, you know, this is how it had to be, Tony. And he's been trying to figure out how to do this. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. This post-credit scene makes me think that it might just go, boom, we're picking up. So I don't know. But who I was saying, Shuri, I think when it picks up, I think she's going to be the queen of Wakanda. I mean, she's the next in line. She's going to be the queen of Wakanda and maybe Black Panther. Because we saw key thing that they did in Black Panther that's so good is in the ancestral plane, it wasn't just a bunch of dudes. There were girls there too. So there's been some female Black Panthers.
Well,
like, I would love that so much.
Maybe not Black Panther, but I kept saying like White Tiger, but they called Bucky
White Wolf.
Oh, White Wolf.
Yeah.
That's how we introduce White Tiger. White Tiger.
I don't care. I just want her to be a superhero, I think her and Spider-Man. Well, can't do that anymore. He gone.
I don't feel so good.
Stop it. Stop it.
So, you still give this an 8?
8 out of 10. I think it's solid. I think I gave Guardians 2 an 8-ish out of 10, and I think that's about where I would put this on a level of Guardians 2, kind of with Doctor Strange, something around those. There's these. I think there's plateaus to this Phase 3. It's the bottom plateau, and when I say that, it doesn't mean bad. Phase 3 has not had a miss. That was rough. There's not been a misstep. There hasn't been a like Suicide Squad of Phase 3. It's been like at the bottom level of the pyramid, you got your Doctor Strange, your Guardians 2, and your Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then you have your Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, and then your Black Panther and your Civil War, your Infinity War up there. Did I miss any? Oh, and then I would put Thor Ragnarok on that second level too, and then Black Panther and Infinity War up here, like topsies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Marvel.
I agree.
It's marvelous.
I still give this movie a 7.5. There were things I still have to think about. I might have to see it one or two more times.
Which we will.
I don't think I'll see it in theaters though. I think I'll wait for it. I don't know. Well, yeah. If you pay for my ticket, then yeah, then I'll go. Not that it's bad. It's not a bad movie.
I want to watch Infinity War now.
I kind of do too. All right, let us know.
That's the thing we didn't like feel coming out of this movie, because Infinity War, we're like, we have to see this again. This movie, we don't have to see it right away again. Black Panther, we had to see that again. We had to experience that again. What was before that? Thor Ragnarok. I just needed to see that again just to process some of it. Like,
there's a lot.
Like this one, it's like I feel like I got everything that they were trying to give me in the first viewing.
Yeah, we got it all, and I think that makes for effective.
And I think it was the same way about the first Ant-Man, really.
Yeah.
It's a simple story, small scale, no pun intended, but a smaller scale from everything else. And I think that's what these Ant-Man movies are really, well, Ant-Man and the Wasp now, their purposes in this universe is to bring us back. Like, okay, we're not trying to save the whole galaxy. We're just trying to save the block, just like Spider-Man should be.
Back from the quantum realm. All right. If you guys liked what you saw, make sure you guys like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
And go see Ant-Man and the Wasp. And make sure you guys stay tuned.
Stay iconic.
And cue music.
Holy Grail.